Every movie has to have a portion of analog practical effects to really convey the sense of physical reality of the film. We built entire city blocks, the buildings, the cars, everything was rigged with the same hydraulic system. So the whole set, the whole street would bounce when the kaiju is walking.
The sets are huge and massive.
I walked onto set the first day and was overwhelmed by the magnitude of the project. The sets are beautiful.
This set that we're in is the budget of season 1, 2, and 3 of It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia. Just the set. That's money.
Everything that you see on the screen where we are actually physically touching, is real.
From a design standpoint, it's all manufactured, it's all designed. It's not going to existing locations and just dressing them up. The Shattered Dome, that was sort of the biggest evolution on the show, and it took a lot of people, many different concepts to settle on the final direction.
We're surrounded by green, and it's still full of practical elements. Props, hand toys, little vehicles, little elements. And I think that's the balance that he's found.
The biggest stage in North America could only accommodate 1/8 of the Shattered Dome.
We can't really get far enough away from that set piece on this stage to be the beginning of the second piece.
We created a grid of lines on the floor, and we moved the elements, architectural elements around, but they really were walking left to right on the same stage over and over and over again. When they finally walk the Shattered Dome, it looks like a single walk in a huge space, but it really is 8 or 9 walks through the same set.
We have built an entire stage of a street for Hong Kong that, essentially we film in one day. Action! You're doing it on an accelerated pace. I mean, let's face it, it takes decades to build streets like that and the character that goes into it, and we don't have that kind of time, so it is a grand experiment.
How do I turn this on? I happen to love the set of Hong Kong. I loved it because they felt very real. And they were very challenging to light and very challenging to orchestrate stuff in with hundreds and hundreds of extras.
The set of Hong Kong I think they had 400 extras that day. For a minute, you get an idea of like, oh, this is what working's like for someone like Tom Cruise or someone. You're in the middle of like some awesome set, trying to look awesome, just being awesome.
Of course, you've got this creature that's of immense size running through an area like that. It's going to be kicking cars out of the way like it's nothing. Essentially, all the buildings in the vicinity have been torn down to rubble.
What Guillermo really wanted to do was dwarf human scale, to give the audience a sense of how really small we are.
There's a lot of visual effects that extend our environments, and in some cases, they extend them quite dramatically. But there are large-scale pieces that work in conjunction with that.
Yeah, I go to take the first step, and it turns into a default.
We got a window coming, guys. All right, let's go.
Some of the environments we had to recreate were just too enormous to get in a soundstage, so we were only able to create small portions or corners.
The Jaegers. We have elements of their feet and their highly complex shapes.
The Jaeger's head, for example, is we rebuilt that. It's called the Con-Pod.
I think we can get a little more violence on the side to side.
Yes, based on what you saw on the little gimbal, the test, based on the harnessing techniques that these guys are using, that ultimately this will, in the long run, give us more.
When we looked at those control pods, we sort of sketched up quickly, well, this is going to be green screen, and this is going to be green, and this is going to be green. And week by week, it grew to a point where Guillermo was suddenly building the whole thing.
In Pacific Rim, we built the head of the robot. The resulting set between the rig and the construction was about 4 stories high. This entire set would shake and would be able to drop really rapidly for the drop of the head. The actors were in for a ride. It was like a little amusement park simulator. The easiest thing would have been to put green levers on their arms and their back and their feet and have the actors have a complete free movement. But I felt you needed something with resistance. So we had a piece of machinery that was a couple of tons in weight in their backs and in their legs and in their arms.
You've got a suit on, you've got a harness underneath, your feet are on these platforms that actually move the robot's legs.
If you put them in a small thing, somewhat it feels snug and it feels safe. But if the pieces of the walls are being torn, if the floor is being shaken, if the windshield, so to speak, is smashed, all these things give you an interaction that is more immediate and visceral, that they would be able to react to the impact. So every time they were fighting the kaiju and they would throw a punch, the whole set would throw that punch with them. And when they were being hit by the kaiju, the whole set would rock backwards with them and really, really shake them. By the end of the first 30 minutes, they were ready to collapse in hell.
So it was a real test of one's sanity and physical ability.
It's the most painful, exhausting, excruciating thing I've ever done in my life. But it does look cool.
It's tough, man. It's tough.
I really don't know what any of those guys were talking about. I think they're just really soft, to be honest, because I didn't think it was that bad.
I wanted to be a movie that was very, very intense during the battles, that you felt that they were real, that they were happening.
All of those small details, which, add up, they really do to making everything feel very real.
And it gives such a good quality to the action, the actuality of what, Guillermo has done, coupled with the CGI. It's just amazing to look at.
We wanted to get real dynamics in the movie, not just CG. It renders results that are very different and much more satisfying than just going completely digital. This shot, I think we benefit from flipping the car. This is a lot of work, but the results are very, very much physical on the screen.